Kipoerneke's Corner. I am back in Watcher of Realms at the moment, and I have started a few things here. I'm going to go ahead and claim this 2 arena permits from this guy. And so I've got some artifact raids running in the background. I was working on getting the Oracle's Trial Gear Raid 3 up, but I'm so far from the next highest guy in the line at this point that there's no sense in continuing. I could possibly pull into one of those places, but I don't think it's worth my time and effort when I really need to get some better artifacts going and things like that. And so I can come over here and go to artifacts, go to forge, and I have some things I can do here. I've got the legendary things I can do. Let's see. So it costs 30 for every one we want to do. And we have a 55% chance of getting an epic piece, a 40% chance of getting a legendary piece, and a 5% chance of getting a mythic piece from this. So let's go ahead and do that and see what we get real quick. So we got the North Storm for that, which is class limited to mages, and it says when shielded, increases attack by 10%. Well, that's interesting. Alright, let's see what else we get. So we got a legendary piece for that. And then we have War Song, which is an epic artifact. Increases damage dealt by 5%, eliminating an enemy, grants an extra damage increase of 5%, lasting for 5 seconds. Cool, next. Alright, we got the Luck of Tia. It's a class limited to mages artifact. In XP raid, killing an enemy grants an 80% chance to gain 1 random buff. Attack plus 25% or damage plus 25% for 10 seconds, 20% chance to gain both. This effect can be triggered once every 10 seconds, so that's in XP raids only. Very specific, something I will probably forget to use. Alright, next we've got what? Let's see here. We've got the last one we can do right now with legendaries. We get the Watchguard's Fortune, which is class limited to healers. Each basic attack launched has a chance equal to 10% of crit rate to trigger 1 additional heal, which would be good for something that had another thing that triggered off of crit rate, so that we would have the crit rate up and could put this on. That would be cool. Alrighty, let's see here. So we got those. Oh, we still have one left. Sorry, we still have one of these guys left to forge, so let's do that. And it's Nightmare Shadow, class limited to fighters, which happens to make a lot of sense because it increases crit rate by 5% for every 5 attacks. Can stack up to 3, and it feels like that is kind of possibly going to be pretty decent, honestly. Alright, but then we're going to go over to the exclusive forge because we have a bunch of these gleaming meteorites. I think I got them from last month's dragon pass thing, whatever it was called, Frost. I don't remember. Anyway, that event, if you want to call it that, that was going on. So I got a good number of them, and I'm going to go ahead and try to forge some of them. Let's give it a shot and see what we get here. This can give us some exclusive artifacts to particular people. This one is class limited to fighters. Deals 20% extra damage to targets inflicted with bleed. Now that also seems kind of tailor-made for arrogance, or some of the Nightmare faction that do that same thing. Definitely want to throw that on somebody. And then we have Tia's Balm, class limited to healers, and it says increases healing multiplier by 30% when healing a hero with less than 30% health. Very cool, right? And then we've got another couple we can summon, and I didn't go over the stats with you guys of what we can get here. Legendary chance is 20%, mythic chance is 60%, and exclusive chance is 20%. So let's try again. We got Unfortunate Skull, which is class limited to mages. It says damage received is increased by 20%, while AoE damage is increased by 25%. Cool. And then one more time, what do we have? It is Solar Embrace, a legendary artifact, class limited to defenders, and it says when taking damage, defense is increased by 12% for 3 seconds. Alright, well, got some artifacts. There's that to be said at least. And that's all of the forging that we can do at the moment as far as any of that goes. So, why don't I go and just go to the heroes, and I think, let's check and see what artifact he currently has. Yeah, definitely, we're gonna want to put on the new one here. Because that makes a lot of sense, I think. Is he the one who does... see, I get bleed and burning confused, and it just occurs to me that I think he may do burning and not bleed. He does burning, of course. Alright, so bleed. Who does bleed? I think I have somebody who does bleed. He also does burning. And I think she does burning as well. Yeah, she definitely does some burning. I feel like I have somebody who does bleed. I'm not sure who. Maybe I will run across them at some point and we can put that on. For now, I guess that's no use. I wonder what it would do if I went to Artifact and unequipped it. I have on Keen Wisdom right now. What would it think we need? See, it wants that one on there, but the problem is with that I don't know who I have who's giving bleed, if anybody, so I'm not sure that's the right one to choose. This one increases crit rate by 5% for every 5 attacks and can stack up to 3 times. Crit rate. Okay, that's burning. Again, I'm not really sure that that's going to be the way to go here. I gotta kind of look through these guys because I'm not sure what the best places to put this stuff is going to be. I feel like there's some spots that would be better than others for this, of course, as with everything, right? But I don't know what they are, you know? And of course, for those ones, I think they're fighter only, so I should check my fighters and see if there's anything that would be particularly beneficial. Would definitely be good if I could find something that does bleed. Now we definitely have we have a good burning team going on here. At some point I should perhaps do something with him, but I feel like he's maybe not amazing, you know? I guess I didn't look at all his things, huh? It's interesting how quickly we get down into this low VP on the fighters. They just don't have much, it seems. think I may have Demos. I don't remember if Demos is on my list of people who's... No, it's not one of my better ones that I have listed. If he is... Okay, he's mediocre on my mediocre list, it looks like. So, yeah, I don't really know that I have any good fighters that those are gonna benefit. I do need to stick some artifact back on him. I don't want to put that one because I don't know if I have anybody giving bleed or not. So I'll stick this one back on him, which is the one he had before. Whenever there is an ally within 2 tiles, increases attack by 16%, which is nice for him. Alright, out of there, let's go back over here. We've got some artifact raids done. Got 112,200 coins, 28,300 XP potions, 22 flawless meteorites, 76 radiant meteorites, 161 mithril, and 436 grave conquest points. Alright, so if we go back here, go to the forge, we can make another legendary one. So we may as well, right? We got Consuming Rage, which is increases crit rate by 5% upon entering combat. When a crit hit lands, increases crit rate by an extra 5%. So, cool. Alright. Nothing particularly exciting there. Now that should have helped out with the Brave Conquest stuff to get those material raids. I think there was something else here. Oh yeah, the Tales of the Smith. So I may want to go back to what I was doing previously, which was doing some of those Gear 3 raids and finish this out, because this ends in 9 hours. Of course, they both end in 9 hours. Or these two both end in 9 hours. That one has a day in 9 hours. So maybe I don't worry about doing that one until after I finish this one. That seems like it's probably a good idea. Alright, let's see. Let's go to events, because we've got some lucky roulette. We can spin this wheel a couple of times and see if we get anything fun. We got 5 diamonds. That's always fun. Followed by 20,000 XP potions. Also nice. I could use that. Now let's see here. Also need to summon something for the day because I've got that quest to do, right? So I'll summon one guy and see what we get. It is Sorzus, the 3-star mage from the Nightmare faction. I have enough of him that I haven't awakened all the way, so this will be just something to sell. Advisor to the Nightmare Legion, Sorzus preys on the weak. He does exceptional damage to low HP enemies. Cool, very good. And then we got that done, so we can claim 2 golden cogs and 2 4-star psychic power shards. Very good, very good. And that means we can go do some more spins over here, so let's do that. 20,000 XP potions for the first one. And 3 auto-fight chances for the second one. Pretty good. I'll take it. Now, what else might I want to look at real quick? Obviously, I need to start some more gear raids. And, let's see, we need quite a few more points to be able to get the Tales of the Smith finished. So we may as well go back to this, go to auto fight, and I'll do 20 more of these, which takes 400 stamina. So I'll use 2 of these potions and start that in the background. And then go back out of here, and let's see. Got that going. We have XP potions running, XP bonus, and also we got the gold one running as well over here. Gold gained in battle plus 100%. So okay. Then I'll hop over here. Hey Cody, how you doing? Yes, a couple more days until the Nora banner. Absolutely. Thank you for the reminder. You know what? I really could have used Hot Suit. I didn't think about the fact that she's in the Nightmare faction, which is awesome because that goes along with like most of my core team. But that's okay. That's all right. Some other time maybe. So we'll go here and check and see. We've got the Trial of the Infernal running. I'll have some Infernal guys. Looks like I just got this one up. This is Setram. That's his name. Setram seems like he's going to be pretty good. I need to upgrade him some more. I can go ahead and do that right now because I have a little bit. So that got him up to level 48. And then immediately I got some more. So there we go, 49. Alright, I can throw an artifact on him. I really don't care what too much. Increases crit rate by 5% upon entering combat. When a critical hit lands, increases crit rate by an extra 5%. Haven't looked at his skills a whole lot. Each attack launched has a 20% chance to unleash fists, smashing the target and dealing 140% damage and inflicting the target with stun. The fewer the targets in range, the higher the extra damage dealt. Well, that sounds like it really needs to have some attack speed put on. And then it could go against like the weekly or the dragon very well. So that's cool. And that would be the talent. When does that, is that, I guess, do I have that unlocked? Maybe. Yes, I do. Okay, it looks like I've got him promoted all the way up already. That's cool. Alright, the ultimate switches to Fortress Stance and increases attack range for 15 seconds. During the skill, constantly bombards targets with continuous attacks that deal 25% damage and gradually increases attack speed. Enters overloaded when reaching the attack speed limit. Self-repair after 8 seconds. I wonder what that means. Overconsumes energy and increases damage by 60%. Will enter a worn-out state for a while after this effect ends. So that's the self-repair that it enters after 8 seconds. That's interesting. Then we have his basic attack does 110% damage to one enemy. Devastation increases all damage by 12%. Shielded targets take 30% extra damage. Interesting. And then the last thing over here is Annihilation. When the hero attacks one target multiple times, increases crit rate by 1%. And critical damage by 2% each time for 5 seconds. The effect can stack up to 15 times. So that's going to be great against the guild bosses. Cody says, I also got an unpolished soulstone from my Nightmare 3 chest today, so that's really dope. That's awesome. Congratulations. He also says, dang, Setram, really useful. Definitely congrats. No, yeah, he's really cool. I like him so far. I haven't gotten to really use him, but I think he's promising, you know? His stuff is cool. So I leveled him up, and I thought that he would be good to use later. He has crazy range, yeah, on the, I think on the ultimate, right? Yeah, that's like the whole board, you know, that's a lot of it right there. Pretty cool. His basic attack is right there, and it's still really good. I mean, he can sit at the back of a lot of places and still be hitting. That's very good. All right. So we got him up to 49. That's not too bad. Of course, I can't awaken him or anything crazy, but at least I got an artifact on him. I got some gear on him. Got him up to 49. It's not too shabby. Alright, so now, what do we have here? I don't really know what this is or anything, what this map is. I didn't look at it. And I also don't think that I have... Oh, wait, I think I might know... No, I don't think I do know which one this is. We've got a couple healers. 3 healers? No, 2 healers. 2 healers. We've got... Looks like 1 melee, and the rest are like platform guys. Alright, we got a suggested BP of 163,840, and my current BP is 234,441. For what that's worth, we'll see. Deploy 3 mages is in the rules, and then we have to do our soul coin attack. Okay, I know what this one is. This is the one where we throw her out here, right out the gate. And then we just throw people along this this line over here. That's the game plan. guess I will try out Setram this time around. He does have very nice range. So maybe just right here, or maybe what if I did here and up? That would cover even better, I think. I like that. That's good. Let's do it. And he can't even get hit because they aren't going to be able to reach him until they get closer. So, I mean, he can get hit, but not right away. She can go probably here and start beating on those guys as they come along. Hopefully, Setram can do good DPS. We'll see. Maybe not. It's not looking promising yet, but maybe just, you know, I know that I don't have much done to him. I think that's a level 2 guy. I don't want the level 2 guy necessarily. Maybe I do. Maybe they're all level 2 guys. That's a problem. Okay. Well then. Well then. Gotta think this through. Maybe I'll put him here. It's, I've already aired terribly. Terribly bad. In all of the ways, but, that's okay. That's what it's about, isn't it? Make mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. It's alright. It's like my life. Alright, so now we'll see if we can get her out. And maybe, where do I want her? Probably right there. She's a little late to the party, as it were. But that's okay. We can redo it in a minute. In fact, we'll just redo it right now. Why wait? Restart. Alright, let's try this again. But this time, faster. I just realized, too, that I have her that I can throw out. So, we'll try a similar thing. But this time, hopefully I'll fail less hard. Maybe. We'll see. I have a lot of room for failure. So, we'll see how it goes. So we have her there. We can't put her... Okay, we only have the one guy who goes on the ground. That's a sad thing, ultimately. So, putting him here was not great. And why wasn't it? It should have hit all of these places. It wasn't because he isn't very good yet. Why isn't he very good yet? I don't know. But we're going to try a similar thing. And this time I'm going to turn Dao Chan into a buff bot. And then maybe we go here and this way instead. Hit him coming around that corner. We don't have a lot of stuff to do here, so let's throw her out and get some of her buffs going. Will that be enough? Perhaps. This is definitely going better than last time, so I'm going to go with a solid maybe on that. Alright, now, I remember from last time that he has long range, but he's only level 2, so let's wait on him and put... I don't know, maybe Nocturne here? It's a tough one. I'm not sure. Possibly. It doesn't get as many hits. Maybe we put Nocturne down here. And then an eye up there. There's an eye. Yeah, that makes some more sense, I think. Maybe an eye here. And then Nocturne down there. Perhaps like that. And now we have a long range on the dwarf fellow down there. So we'll put him out next. May as well get that going. Once that guy enters, I can do this. Now he's my last deployable, which should be fine. Alright, let's speed this up. He's doing the grave call to regenerate your friend and mine. Wait a little longer on that one. We gotta wait another couple steps for hers. Almost there. No bueno, though. Barely even do anything to that guy with this one. Yeah. Terrible. Terrible. Because he's level 2, I think, or something. Level 2 is somehow insufficient. Well, alright. We were able to take out the boss without any trouble. The trouble is, I didn't accurately use, at least, or adequately use my guys there. So maybe in a little bit I'll be able to do better once I get some folks leveled up a little more. Let's look at the stats on that. So Xena sat there and soloed the boss with no problem. Maybe I should have picked her up, actually, after she killed the boss. I don't know exactly when the boss went down, but I could have picked her up, possibly had time to put her back out, and kept that from happening. In fact, maybe... Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So Anai and this other new guy, whatever his name is, Setram, did equivalent damage, which is, it's pretty good because he's not leveled up all the way. Nocturne didn't do so well. None of the rest of them really did anything, which again isn't super surprising. They're not exactly, maxed out by any stretch of the imagination. But okay, that's good to know. That's where we stand there. Now, got some raids still running in the background. We got the harbor just came in. We got a volcanic salt, 30 flame broiled beef, and 30 blazing chilies for that, which is nice. I should send her back out. I can't. Apparently that was my 3rd time for the day. Well, that's cool. Let's see that. Thinking for a moment here, processing. Alright, we got events. Corridor of Glory, we got another 100 legendary skill dust in that. That's good. Then, in that case, perhaps I go back to the old storyline, maybe. Fear Campaign Stage E1-9 is what I'm on. And for that, we can get 20 diamonds. We're on E1-1. E1-9 seems far away, but I suppose we can begin it. So, we need to clear the stage with soul point intact and clear the stage with no more than 6 heroes on the team if we want the full reward. Then we've got, we've got skeleton fighters, elite skeleton archers who can shoot ranged, skeleton executioners, tower shield skeletons, armored Zorak, and Pharaoh's guards. So, mages seem to be a good idea. We've got 3 portals they'll be coming out of, 1 portal to defend, not sure how many spaces we'll have for melee. So, you know, most of my team is kind of melee heavy, honestly. But not knowing what we're doing, we'll just go with whatever team I have here, probably. 147,558 is the suggested BP, and the current BP of my team is 440,903. I don't know if I want exactly this team. Man, alright, let's see. What if... Okay, Nocturne and Anai did similarly, so... Okay. Is there anybody I want to change out? Maybe I change out Nocturne for Brienne for this one, since we've got kind of a mage-heavy thing going on. Or it seems as if that would be the way to go. Otherwise, I think I'll keep it the same and just start and see what happens. Who knows? Oh, ha 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 ha. I have 2 heroes in the team. Be able to get the one that I want. Also, there's only 2 spots for melee. So let's try this again. So I need to pare it down to 6 people, 2 of them melee. So if I'm going to only do 2, then obviously arrogance is one of those. Let's take out all the melee, except for him for the moment. Well, okay, what if I just, I could do arrogance and Baron. If I were going to do that, those 2 are going to be up there. They can get all the buffs. Anai goes along with arrogance, well, because of the whole burning thing. So maybe we go ahead like that, leave her in. Now Idrin could go in front of Baron, or in front of arrogance instead. But Baron also pairs with Anai because he has the burning stuff too, I believe. No, he doesn't. That's right. He's one of the ones that doesn't, which is weird because he has a burning head, but he doesn't have the burning skill. So what if we just put him in front with arrogance behind him? I think he'll do just fine. Let's try that. All right. So we'll put arrogance down first. And of course, Dao Chen will help arrogance do better. And then, of course, Laurel will also help arrogance do better. And as we all know, this is actually really the arrogance. It's team arrogance. It's arrogance and friends, you know? Everyone does better with arrogance. I don't know. But really, that's the goal here, is anybody who pairs well with arrogance, boosts arrogance, anything like that is what I'm going for. Because, as we all know, he is the ace in the hole for me at the moment. Until such time that is not true, this is the game plan. Thing is that really her biggest effect happens after they've already been hit with arrogance's stuff. So I think I'm just going to put it right there, even though it seems to make less sense. I'm not sure that it doesn't make less sense, but it feels right. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I noticed that these guys are only dying temporarily and then they're hopping back up. And the reason that I didn't know that that was going to happen is because obviously I didn't pay sufficient attention. Let's speed this up. They are hitting my guy. And they're hitting Laurel as well. I suppose I could change over to that to heal them up a little bit so they don't die. Okay, now we can change back. Alright, so that was pretty straightforward. We got 25 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 coins for that. Let's look at the stats. Arrogance and Edril both did well. Edril does very well in AoE stuff. Edril actually out DPS's Arrogance for AoE. And of course, Arrogance out DPS's Edril for single target. Nocturne did well. He beat Anai. Of course, he was getting the first hits in and getting more hits in, so there's that. But he was put out later, so there's also that. It's interesting. So alright. Good to know. So now, E1-2, same rules. The guys attacking us are going to be skeleton fighters, Pharaoh's guards, elite skeleton archers, those are the ranged guys, and tower shield skeletons, those are the ones with the heavy armor. So, cool. Okay, so the skeleton fighters are the ones that revive after being knocked down. Alright, let's go to fight. And we can just, obviously the same team is going to be fine. We've got 5 platforms. No idea how many spaces we'll have for melee. But I think we won't worry about it too much. We're going to just try to DPS them down anyway. Now we can put them out front, and we may as well put them out front, because that's going to give them a chance to be a little bit closer to their compatriots, as it were. Barely enough time to get Edrin down as well. And that guy will pop back up in a second, but we're not going to worry too much about him. He won't be up long. We can put her here. And she can cover all the surrounding spots. Then we have, I think we'll put Laurel over here to get on those guys. Could have put it down at the bottom, but I like it better here. And then I suppose I could do like this, and then the same on the other side with a 9. Of course, a 9 will not be getting healing down there. Something to consider. So I could pull her back and just do across the board. Either way, though, she's not going to be getting any healing, so let's just do here so she can hit them as they come out. And I can always pull her up if I feel like she's about to die. And I can put on her DPS move. Hey, Licorice, how you doing? I decided to do a little bit of the storyline today. Move that along, you know. It's been a little while. I'm very out leveled for it, I'm afraid, at this point. All right, we got a victory, 3 stars. And then we have 25 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 coins. Stats look like this. Idrin rather, didn't do as well as Arrogance that time, but he did pretty well. And then Nocturne was next. I think Nocturne is doing well compared to Anai pretty consistently. And that time I feel like it was a better show of that because they were in equivalent spots. So I think he's doing better than Anai overall. All right, let's complete this. And Like Risk says, I'm good. How are y'all doing? Well here, Like Risk. Cody says the good old campaign push. Campaign brings a lot of gems and blue shards, thankfully. That's true. And Like Risk says, for real. Actually, he says for real. So that's like for really real. For real. All right. And then we have the new map here. We've got 2 spots to block 2 oncoming portals, skeleton fighters, tower shield skeletons, elite skeletal archers. Those are the ranged guys, and then Pharaoh's guards. So it's like the same bunch, they're just coming down a different aisle. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in the way that I do this. I think we're so over BP'd for this that it's not going to matter too much. I could be wrong, we'll see. The recommended BP is like 147,000, I think. And we have not 147,000. We have much more than that. It is 259,386. Now I could get a second healer for the bottom. But do I need a second healer for the bottom? I'm not sure, but I don't really think so. So let's just try it without for now. Cody says, you have any good weekly reset rewards, Like Risk? Good question. I don't know exactly what that's referring to. Weekly reset rewards. I'm sure. Oh, I don't want to put him there. What am I doing? All right, we want to put. Now, actually, I could put him here. He has a nice range for that. That's a nice little spread for around that corner. I like it. So we can put him there, and then put Arrogance up top. And I think probably what's going to happen is everything's just going to die before they get over to where my people are. That's the goal here. And so, what do we need? It's a hard question because honestly, Idrin is good DPS, and so is Arrogance. So what if we give Idrin Lolo and we give Arrogance. You know, I should have done that the opposite way, probably. But we're going to do it this way, because this is the way that I have it. So there you go. And then... Okay, so since we did it that way, we'll put Nocturne down at the bottom, because he does a little bit more DPS than Anai does. So we'll do Nocturne on the bottom. Yes, I think so, right here. And an eye on the top. Licorice says 3 ancient shards in Titanic ruins. Oh, that's the weekly. The weekly raid thing. Gotcha. All right. Already our poor fellow is biting the dust, so let's pick him up. Why let him sit and die there? We can just put out a new person. And, sure, just add her there. Let's see how things are going up here. Seems to be going fine in the arrogance portal. So, when these get a little bit closer, those guys stand up. I'll go ahead and use laurels and increase everybody's everything over here. I also got a U. I wonder what it means. Don't know. Oh, you know what? I bet it's because it's a reply. Unpolished soulstone. Cool. Oh, I guess I could put, well, you know what? I don't need to put Nocturne out. I'll just, I'll leave it as is for the moment, I guess. Well, I can stick him here, just add to this. Why not? I think Arrogance and Dao Chan are doing fine so far. Black Risk says 3 ancient shards in Titanic ruins. I think he had already said that, and I already read it. Black Risk says I have still yet to get any soulstones from chests. Alright. Crazy. Alright, we got 25 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 gold. Cody says, Kip, do you still have keystones / Malrix locked? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe? Probably. As far as I know. Go with as far as I know. I don't know for certain. Alright, we've got another of the same kind of thing. We've got a different map. This one's a boss one. So we have 1 portal to protect. We have 3 enemy portals that'll be popping folks out, and then we have this boss here, which is Slaughter. He's immune to all crowd control effects except for slow. Known for his brutal attacks of smashing enemies apart with his weapon, Slaughter seems to quite enjoy the thrill of killing. Alright. Well, you know, the bosses, they don't really tell you much about what's going to happen, I find. But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to take the team I've been taking. Seems to be alright so far. Their suggested BP is 147,558. We have 259,386, so I think we're going to be fine on that. Malrix. Wait, is that the weekly? Or is that called something else? Because we have the weekly raid thing unlocked. Whatever it's called. Alright, so we have Arrogance and Edrin to stick out like so. And I wonder, he can't quite hit. I couldn't remember what his range was. Doesn't take me long to forget, to be honest. But we want to actually probably stick Laurel out. How do I want to put her? We could do like so. Yeah, like that. That seems fine. And then put her out and immediately put her into DPS mode. Like Rusk says, A3 is the highest I have, A3 Warren. I'm gonna stick this guy out next, although it's over already because Arrogance / Agent got him for that first hit. Okay, it's popped back up. He don't know. Don't know how many times he does that, but got him a second time. I think that's the last one. Yes, okay. So throw him out, and should be no problem. Let's go ahead and use his ultimate, use Laurel's ultimate, and knock the rest of that out. Cody says, never mind, you unlock it when you beat stages 18 in all periods. Nope, definitely don't have that then. Actually, the one of them is giving me some serious trouble. I don't remember which one. I want to say it's Gear Raid 3. I think it's Gear Raid 3. Maybe. Or maybe not. I'm not sure. I can only get to like level 12 on it, whatever it is. Got 25 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 coins. I'm lacking in certain, like, air is not good for me, so that might be the one. I don't remember. I think so, though. I think it's the marksman trial, or marksman, not the marksman trial, basically it's got a bunch of platforms and some water and flying snakes and things. Flying fish? Flying fish, that's what it is. Alright, E1-5. You know, I can't help but notice that I've got this 200 stamina to claim. And I think I still have some raids I need to do, or some things for the Oracle's trial to be able to get enhanced stuff and all that. So we'll bulk enhance this stuff up to level 4. And alright, that enhanced all 21 of those to level 4. But then we're gonna go, and I've got this whole system I'm trying. I have decided is a good idea, and we'll unequip, you know, look at only the stuff that's unequipped, and then we'll go to bulk sell, and basically sell a bunch of this stuff, not all of it, and then what I don't sell, I will enhance to the next level. And this has been effective for the Tales of the Smith and me still having money. And we're going to sell all that stuff. And then we're going to do this, select all of this and enhance it up to level 8. Alright, so then we come over here and we look at level 8 stuff that's unequipped. And we look again and see how did this end up going. Let's go back to bulk sell. And even if it looks really good, we're going to be very, very careful about what we keep, because I don't have enough gold to be messing around with. So, this has been the system. And so we're going to sell all that, in spite of some of them having good stats. Not even going to think about it. And then we're going to enhance this thing, which is the one that remains. And there you go. One piece that we kept. Blackrisk says, I had no clue you could level up all artifacts at the same time. What? Cody says, yeah, it's very nice, but say bye to your gold. It's also pretty newish. Yeah. Yeah, that was, in this case, I was doing the gear, but yes. Alright, you can do both. You can also unequip everything from all of your guys at once. If you, I don't know, you know, a guildmate told me about that, and it's very nice. So, okay, we did get something else in the Brave Conquest. We're up to 50 auto fight chances. Very nice. I can use them for sure. Alright, we're moving right along in this Brave Conquest thing. Really need to get a little further in this Tales of the Smith. I'd like those couple of ancient summoning crystals there at the end, or rare summoning crystals, not ancient. That would be nice, but no. Monkey Magic says, hi, hope all is well. I see you pulled Setram earlier. It will help a lot on your account right now. Absolutely. Oh, that's what I'm gonna say. Absolutely. Thanks. For the well wishes. You too. Only minus the all caps on that. My gosh. I don't need to yell it. Alright, there we go. There's our online folks. We're missing some. Alright, get out of there. Alright, where was I? Just finished doing all that. We need to set some more. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. I gotta go back to the campaign and claim this 200 stamina so that I can get some more of these going over here. So this is Gear Raid 3. This is the one I can't really progress very well on at all. It's quite bad. Start on that. And then get out of there. And let's see. Back to the storyline again and back into the fray over here in E1-5. For this one we have 2 portals to protect. We got 2 that are going to summon folks. Who knows how many spots we have, but we really only need the 2 anyway. We got one side that'll have more support than the other, and the less supported side is obviously going to be the arrogance side, right? Alright, we got the Tower Shield Skeleton in heavy armor. We got Slaughter, Skeleton Fighter, and Elite Skeleton Archer, which is ranged. All things to make note of. However, we're going to keep the same team. It suggests 147,558 BP for this stage. We have 259,386 BP, so that should not be an issue. Let's go ahead and start it. And let's see here. I think I like it here better, although I don't. Because I need him down there, like I just mentioned, and then completely forgot about it. That's how it works when we meet. I mean, I think there will be fine. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, so then we'll do Arrogance and Dao Shan team on the other side. Only one spot and it goes right there. Not getting the full range, unfortunately. But I suppose it will be sufficient. And then we can put Laurel right here on the corner, and she can face up just like that. And give a boost to your friends and mine, and I a Nocturne. Popped right back up. Because that was Slaughter there. Go ahead and switch her over. I didn't actually mean to leave her in that state, as it were. Throw a Nocturne out to help with the DPS there, which I have very little concern of because Idrin is quite sufficient at the DPS. Idrin was a great one to get, honestly. He's been extremely helpful. Previously, I only had Arrogance as, like, just my everything. And getting Idrin means that I have kind of a duo here instead of completely Arrogance for all things. So, it's not bad. Well, he did something there, and it wasn't nice. Whatever it was unpleasant. I wasn't watching when it happened, but something happened. Let's go ahead and use this at this point. This is the last few of them, so should be simple enough to finish this out. There we go. Victory is ours. And so, let's look at the DPS here, the damage overall. Arrogance did the most, and of course that's because more things made it over to where he was than what made it over to where Adrian was. Looks like Anai did second that time, and Nocturne came in second place on that pairing. And of course, Laurel did her job. We got 25 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 gold for that, which is nice. It's a nice addition. Cody says, yeah, Ethan is a very solid new champ. Their first successful HP-based DPS is very good. Yeah. And, he's survivable. He does damage. I mean, he has range. It's a good guy. Okay, we got 2 rare summoning crystals from this experience. Now let's do E16. Alright, what have we got here? We've got 3 portals to protect this time, and one of them only has 2 platform supporters. So, this is going to be a little different. Should be fine. We've got Slaughter, Tower Shield Skeleton, and Skeleton Fighters. So we got the guys who revive, we've got Slaughter who also revives, and we also have the heavy armor guy. What we don't have is anybody who does ranged damage. So our guys up on the platforms will be safe. The real question is, do I actually want a third melee guy for this? Or do I want to rely on Arrogance on one side and Edrin on the other side, plus some DPS? I think maybe I go without a third, and we try it with 2 first. And if it doesn't work, hey, you know what? I can always do it again. It's not that hard. Put some people out there. Alright, now, where's the best location? Realistically, I suppose it doesn't really matter. If I put him, if I put Edrin over here, it does matter, I think, somewhat. If I put him here facing up, okay. There's also the possibility of doing that. But I think right there may be best. Let's try it. Let's do there. And then he'll also get Dao Chan, because the person who is alone gets Dao Chan, and that's the rule. And then on the other side, we shall put Arrogance. And we'll just put him right there, so that he can hit everybody sufficiently. Now we've got that one coming. Maybe I don't put her out yet. maybe I'm gonna put an eye here. And then I can put Laurel up top in the middle. Or, yeah, I think so. There we go, just like that. Cody says basically the more HP slash shields he has, the more damage he does. Yeah. Black Risk says, as much as I love Honora, I think I gotta skip her. I don't actually know anything about Honora except that you guys talk about her. So I need to look at that one. 50 summons ain't enough, says Licorice. Cody says, dang, Licorice, that sucks. Well, you still have time though. You've got 3 days. Maybe you'll get enough to be worthwhile by then. But understandable if you can't make it. But passing limited is tough. So she's a limited, huh? There are many of these guys. That is unfortunate. Not gonna make it. Alright, yeah, just too many. Alright. In that case, let's restart. I could have thrown another guy out, and it may have been enough. It almost was. I don't know. I'm not sure that it would have been. I get another guy. Alright. If I'm gonna get another one, I will trade out. Let's see. Let's go challenge again. I should have checked the stats on that to see whether now Nocturne did the better damage. And I Nocturne. All right. Well, then, in that case, let's do. Let's trade out a 9 for really any of them. It really doesn't matter who. But let's do Wrath, because then he'll be all lordly and stuff for arrogance. And so he'll have more purpose than just a blocker. He also does DPS. So right, well let's do this again. I think they've got that side handled pretty decently. And this other side, we'll do arrogance, shooting across. And then we'll do Wrath right up above him. Right there. And then that big horde of them will not matter so much. Alright, let's double time this while we wait for a moment. And may as well, I think, throw him out. Here comes a big group of them that we had before. Let's go ahead and use his thing and her thing. Cody says February might be a big summoning month. Black Risk says she has a cute dragon. Nora's a busted AoE champ. Cool. I need a busted AoE champ right about now. As long as she hits in the air, that's what I need. I need somebody who does some aerial damage well. Oh, ads. Okay. And now you're back. I missed that whole thing. Cody says the new Archer dude coming out a day after Nora seems decent, but I'm only pulling my divines for him. New Archer dude, huh? Cool. Alright, we got 50 diamonds, and we also got stamina max +3. Not bad. I like it. 25 diamonds from this. 380 XP potions and 1,000 gold. Let's look at the stats satisfy. That's the word I'm going for. Satisfy our curiosity here. Alright, so Adrian, he didn't have much chance to do much that time. He was over there all by himself. And then, basically, as usual, arrogance pretty much took out everything. Alright. Complete that. Cody says she hits air and ground, thankfully. Okay, then in that case, I definitely need her. I'm so low on, like, any kind of marksmen that are good, I have some marksmen, but I don't have any, like, amazing marksmen, Pedril is good. And I think that Setram is going to be really good, too. I haven't had much opportunity to use him yet because he isn't ready. But I think he's going to be good. Alright, we got E1-7 here, which has 2 portals to protect and 2 portals that are spawn portals. So, we've got Slaughter, Skeleton Fighter, and Tower Shield Skeleton. So one that revives, one in heavy armor, well, and another one that revives actually. Slaughter also revives. So, good to know. 2 portals, who knows how many guys that we need. I could go ahead and just keep this team, but I'm not confident that we'll have 3 spots for melee. So let's take them back out and put Anai back in if we can find her. She's here somewhere. Sure is. Yep, there she is. My lack of being visual, it comes into play real bad on this. I need the names to be written on them as well. If I had it, then I could find my people. I need it to, like, say the name at the top, like it's a little plaque on the top. I just have so much trouble with visual things. Alright, let's try this. Black Risk says he gives me like blue Ghost Rider vibes. Okay, so Ghost Rider, that's a topic right there because Ghost Rider was my favorite comic book character, not carrier. It's a different thing entirely. Comic book character for many years in the early 90s. And then it hit like 97 and it just fell off a cliff. Absolutely terrible. And then came a recent thing like 2022 or something like that. And all of a sudden, we had Ghost Rider back. It was amazing. I have not seen the newer Ghost Riders from around 2022. It is the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. It was bad. It's very nice. Very cool. Read it. You will be happy. I was. And I'd sworn off Ghost Rider for like, I don't know what, 20 something years, right? So like 25 years prior. Because first they just tanked the comic books. Then they came out with that movie with Nicolas Cage. And if you were a comic book fan at the time and were reading it, you would be extremely disappointed as I was. So, yeah. Black Risk says, when I first started, I just got fighter after fighter after fighter. I've gotten quite a few good melee, I would say, guys. compared to other things, I think that have better melee than anything else. That's probably not the best positioning, but we're going to go with it anyway. Uh, Cody. Cody says Ghost Rider is OP with his pimp stare, right? Listen, Ghost Rider's OP because he's a demon, all right? He's a demon who goes around and possesses different things. And so, like, how can you really actually beat that, right? You can't beat that. Cody says, I actually know a good bit about Marvel and DC. Me too. Not, I won't say I would be like, basically, I know about certain characters very well, and then I know about general Marvel and DC somewhat because I grew up hanging out at a comics and cards store, right? Like a comics at that time it was actual sports cards and comics, and so like I got into playing Magic the Gathering when it came. Well, it wasn't right when it came out. It was in between the Dark and Revised, which was 1993 into 1993. Um, and so got into that, hung out in game stores, and now my son owns a comics and game store. My brother owned one prior to that, so a lot of experience with that. All right, so we got 15 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 coins there. Not bad. Let's look at the stats. I'm kind of a data person when it comes to this kind of thing. Like, how did we do? How can we improve this? You know. Interesting. Interesting. I glanced over and saw the word Lobo, and yeah, that's a whole other topic. All right, let's click complete. Hold on, I'll read it better in a moment. Um, if you haven't read it before, just I'm going to comment this before I even read that. Um, if you haven't read it before, read the Lobo Christmas special from like I don't know what was it 95 sometime in there, 1995 maybe. Um, but only read it if you I don't know, are a little disturbed or something. I don't know. You have to have a certain kind of sense of humor in order to enjoy it. But it made me laugh when I was a teenager, so preteen, I guess. Anyway, we got a couple of 4-star psychic powers up there to claim, and on to E1-8, Deep in the Desert. Alright, Deep in the Desert has 3 portals to protect, and they have 3 incoming portals as well. Looks like we've got Slaughter, Tower Shield Skeleton, and Skeleton Fighter, as previous levels have also had. Let's go to Fight, and then I suppose we can make the assumption that we'll actually need 3 real people involved in this again, 3 real melee folks. So we will remove an eye and put in Wrath once more. It worked so well the last time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Let's see if we can get those guys in together to be friendly. All right. Quick start on this. All right. We've got to throw some folks down here. This is a great spot, honestly, for arrogance. It's perfect. This is actually quite nice because then I can stick down chan kind of anywhere there. So what if I stick a wall here facing down? Man, is this right though? Maybe I need to save Laurel for the other side. But I don't think so because Laurel can cover both people. And if I stick her there, and then what? I could do Wrath here. I had been going to do Etran here. But I wonder if this will work. We'll just stick these 2 here. with Laurel, because wrath self heals and arrogance is high DPS, so he may be fine by himself there, and not have to worry about the fact that we don't have healer over there. And then we stick. Say I stick him here. Is that a good idea? I think it'll work. I don't think it'll matter too much. And then I suppose I'll put her here. I see a problem. That is that Laurel is not surviving this event. I could have put her at the back, and she would have been hit less. And the fact is that I still can. Let's move her. Alright, let's see here. What have we here? Like Risk says, Ghost Rider, Watcher of Realms collab win. Man, I tell you what, they already have the Joker on here, right, with Hex. He's clearly the Joker. I mean, I think I'm right here. Then, and he's obviously the Heath Ledger Joker too, right? Pretty sure. All right, so then Cody says, I can't wait to see Lobo on the big screen. Okay, now, what are your thoughts on the choice of actor for Lobo in this current rendition? Then, Black Rose says Supergirl, right? Cody says yes. Black Risk says movies do not do any Marvel/DC character justice. So, alright, here's the thing about that. Before I lead on, I'm going to comment here. Because the thing of it is that I just let some guys go by probably. Nope, they didn't. They died. That's good. Because Aquaman. Let's talk about Aquaman for a minute. Aquaman is a garbage character, and I don't, I'm referring to the comic book version. And the thing is, what I'm referring to is classic Aquaman. He's kind of one of those guys who's been around a very long time, and he's sort of like Namor, right? So Namor and Aquaman, very similar, and just kind of just not main titles. Let's say that. Like he's nobody when they back in the day prior to the movies coming out with Jason Momoa, nobody was like, yes, I want Aquaman. He's my favorite. If somebody's gonna choose their favorite superhero as a child, like there was no kid out there who was like, yeah, Aquaman, he's the one. No, that wasn't it. So like the fact that they made a movie and they completely changed the character, don't get me wrong, but they made this movie that got people interested in Aquaman for the first time really ever. And then they kind of changed the comic book to reflect the movie, and I feel like maybe that was a good change overall. So that's my comment on movies do not do any Marvel/DC character justice. I'm going to say that. All right, we got 25 diamonds, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 gold coins. I see Cody say, big question, who's your favorite X-Men character? But right after that, I saw Lackrisk say I was named after Wolverine, and so obviously you're Logan then. All right, then we have Cody, who agrees. It's hard for me to pick a favorite X-Men, but Legion is very cool / interesting, definitely up there for me. Lackrisk says, dare I say Storm. Oof. Cody says Storm will always be cool. So they really did not do Storm justice in the movie, so I'll give you that. In the comics, Storm is much cooler than in the movies, for sure. Oh, Cody says perfect casting. Ooh, ouch. You must be talking like visually or something. I don't even know. I mean, it's rough. It's a hard thing you said there, Cody. It's a hard thing. Cody says I didn't like him as Aquaman, but I'm also not the biggest Aquaman fan. Exactly, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, thing is, Aquaman was a character that nobody had any interest in. And so you say you didn't like him as Aquaman. Well, that's all fine and well, but like, I'm not saying you have to like Aquaman. What I'm saying is that the Aquaman that he portrayed was better than the Aquaman that was in the comics previously. And so when you say that the movies didn't do the characters justice, I'm going to say that it may be true that that the casting and the portrayal of Aquaman in general in the movie was not accurate to the comics, and I think that in this case that's a good thing. So Cody says Black Manta is pretty cool though. I'm gonna miss Kip's favorite X-Men. Oh, you were asking me my favorite X-Men. That's actually a tough answer. I was never like a massive X-Men person. I know it's a big deal. Everybody loves X-Men. It wasn't my favorite comic. I read it, but it wasn't like one that I had a good collection of or anything like that. I have some X-Men. I would say probably of all of the X-Men, I think my favorite is probably Gambit, but let me be very clear that I'm speaking of the comic book Gambit and not the movies Gambit, because the movies hurt my soul with Gambit. So I really appreciate like 90s Gambit from the X-Men. Yeah. I see Lycorisk says I got started selling plants with friends, but I'll be lurking, enjoying the stream. You too, man. Cody says there's also so many good ones. Right, that's the other thing, is like, it's difficult to pick out one because there's so many. There's like, to be fair, I mean, especially when you get into like the new X-Men and X-Factor and, you know, all the different variations on the different characters, and it's just really difficult to, and then like, yeah, it's just a little much to pinpoint what my favorite would be. If I were going to have to say a favorite, I would probably say Gambit, and specifically that Gambit, so that rendition of Gambit. Alright. Whoa, we're fighting Baron. What a sad day. We fought him before, though. Alright. Baron has Indomitable. He gains a shield that, when broken, increases his damage taken by 50% for 10 seconds. If the shield remains unbroken, Baron unleashes a furious assault, dealing massive damage to all enemies. He continuously strikes random nearby enemies and finally bursts into a rage, dealing massive damage. The damage is distributed among all enemies on the adjacent tiles surrounding Baron. He's also immune to all crowd control except for Slow, who's a brave knight who got killed in battle with his head cut off by the enemy, so he lingers around, looking for his lost skull. In every dark and windy night, he would behead whoever looks like him and take the head back. It's gonna be cooked, however. Alright, then we have Skeleton Fight. He will regenerate. Now, we shall fight this fight. We've got one portal to protect, 3 portals oncoming, and I see no reason to have any more fighters than what we had previously. I think we can safely throw an eye back into the mix here. Cody says there's also so many good ones. That's actually an awesome pick. But thank you. He's pretty good. Let's throw these guys out so they can start beating on this fellow right away. And then how about her right here? That looks good. And we'll throw Laurel in so that she can start in on this arrangement. And then how about, and this is tricky, which one to put out first. I think we'll go him here and then her here. We call that a day. Switch over to DPS mode, and hopefully we can blow through these guys pretty quickly. Cody says the weird thing with me is I'm not the biggest Batman fan, but like not you, Dick Garza. because the Grayson. Because the Teen Titans was my childhood. Interesting. Nightwing has a following, sure. I'm not a huge Batman myself. I did like the movies, the Batman Return or the Batman Returns, yeah, all of the Dark Knight stuff actually was pretty good. I mentioned earlier the Heath Ledger Joker, and I really thought that he did an amazing job. Heath Ledger did an amazing job as Joker, and that's another thing. He's not one of the superheroes, but as far as DC and Marvel characters go, I mean, I think he did a very okay. Now it depends portrayal of which one, right? Because at what time period are we talking? If we're talking about like early Batman, then no, absolutely, that's a terrible Joker. But later Batman, I think he did very well. All right, we got 10 diamonds, 2 rare summoning crystals, 380 XP potions, and 1,000 gold for that. Let's complete this. And as for fun adaptations in a way that you can watch on TV, there's a series called Gotham, and I thought that Gotham was a fun concept. It's not. It's like based on storyline things. It's not really. It's not based on a particular comic book per se. It's based on that world, and I thought it was a very fun series. One of the better things on TV. I don't watch a lot of TV because I tend to not be impressed with it. So Cody says I've seen it all. I'm sorry to hear that. It was pretty solid. Yeah, I liked it pretty well. And of course, it's one of those deals. You watch the first season, and then it's not as good in some of the succeeding ones, but that's okay. I got through the whole thing, which says a lot for me. Alrighty now, let's go back to chapter 1 and see what we have here, because we missed claiming this 3 rare summoning crystals. So let's claim that, and let's pop out of here to go claim whatever we have completed. Alright, we got 63.8k gold, 14,850 XP potions, various gears of legendary and mythical varieties, and 210 Forgotten Palace trophies and 210 Brave Conquest points for that. Let's do a bulk enhancement right here. We select all, bulk enhance up to level 4 if we can, and see how far that gets us. We did manage to enhance them all with the meager funds that we have here. Click OK. And go to storage. Well, actually, I may want to go ahead. No, I'll go to storage, do it this way. All right, let's look and see what we have here. So they're all going to be level 4, and they're all going to be unequipped. And now we have these guys to look at. We'll go to bulk sell and see what I want to just toss to the recycling bin. Almost everything, as is usual for this kind of deal. So all that stuff is going. And then this, we want to bulk organize, find that that's easier. And then do the bulk enhancement up to level 8 and see what it looks like. It's still good. I like it. So with that in mind, let's click the right button and not the wrong button this time. Go over here and we can enhance this one as well up to level 12. And not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, it's HP bonus, crit damage, and defense bonus. But I'll take it. Alright. Let's claim whatever's in the mine over here. It looks foolish. 3,000 coins, 2,600 XP potions, 13 stamina, 1 diamond, and 2 mithril. Very nice. Came all right. Alright, what else we got going here? We still have that gold bonus running for 30 minutes and the XP bonus running for 2 hours, so let's run some more of these Gear Raid 3s. First, I better check and see exactly where I'm at in these events. We've got Tales of the Smith down to there. Still not enough to get those, even the 2 stamina potions, much less the rare guys. Brave Conquest is moving along slowly. And then the corridor thing isn't going to matter until we actually do something with it. Alright then, in that case, let's go to the Oracle's Trial, pop over here, and click go, and then stage 12, autofight, so we can do 10 times for what we have. Let's start that in the background. Get out of here, and back over to the storyline where we can claim this clear campaign stage E1-9. That is 20 diamonds. Alright. Then we've got claim rewards to unlock the next chapter. So we claim this mythic extract. Very nice. Participate in the arena 5 times. Well, just lucky to have it. I have plenty of arena tokens. We've gained 24 arena coins from defending against other players. Who knows what our thing looks like? Ah, it's anti-air DPS. My nemesis, I tell you what. Alright, we've got this guy who is Mr. Anders at 34,400 BP. We're going to gang up on him, I guess. We've got, okay, in this group I have Arrogance, Dao Chan, Laurel, Maul, and Etro currently. I feel like we can trade out Etro for, or not Etro, Maul for the new guy, Setram, and give him a shot. And you know though, I think the marksmen are better for this than the mages, because I was thinking for just half a second there that I might trade out Etro as well, but you know what? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna keep this set up here. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. No. I like it. I like it like it is. I think. All right. Now, you gotta think about it for half a second, because we want to just, in this, I don't even know why I'm thinking about it, this guy is so much lower than me on BP, I shouldn't even be concerned whatsoever. So, I shan't. I can't remember exactly where these guys go, but I don't think it matters, because I think I just put them, you know, here-ish, probably. And then that should be sufficient. So he's doing very well over there. Had Brienne out first, that was a good call. I'll throw Dao Chan here, turn on her DPS mode. And theoretically, Idril next. And I think after this one, I may have to take a break and get some real life stuff done, potentially. Judging by the background voices. Alright, I see that Cody says it was pretty solid, referring to Gotham. A lot of the superhero shows I grew up watching, but they haven't really aged well because of CGI and stuff. See, I'm not visual at all, so it doesn't even matter to me. Like, that kind of thing, like the visual components of movies. It's funny because, right, you would think that that's why we're watching TV, is to see the visual stuff. But in my case, it's not really the truth of it. I don't really see it. Um, I guess in the same way as a lot of people do, and so like I don't know, it just doesn't have a big effect on me, the visual stuff. And so for me, it doesn't matter if there's special effects or not, really. I'm more interested in the character development, and the characterization of the characters, the story, the you know, all of that kind of thing, like the background, like the actual story to it, whether it's entertaining to me, uh, storyline wise, really, and the dialogue. You know, the dialogue has to be good, the acting has to be good. Um, but yeah, I think the other stuff doesn't really matter for me as much. Let's see here. A lot of superheroes, yes, okay. Smallville is one of my favorite shows. I've never watched Smallville. I've heard of it, never seen it. Um, Big Superman fan. I know it's generic. Yeah. I got to work on my Tales from the Smith. Come to think of it. Yeah. Hop on that before it's gone in. All right. We got 3 arena coins, 8 Duel of Champions points, and 5,000 gold from that. So let's see what we have here. Cool. All right. So that was Mr. Anders, 34,400 DP for that poor fellow. All right. Now we better go take off and get some things done, and I will most likely be back within a couple of hours. I don't guarantee it, but I most likely will. Um, it was nice seeing you, Cody. It's been a pleasure streaming with everyone. And if you're not following me yet, be sure to follow me, turn on notifications so that you can see next time I go live. Hopefully, if all goes well, I will see you then. Have a good one.